Hi, this is Andrea Hines, and this is my Exploring Multimedia presentation for IDT 650. Since I teach high school mathematics, I chose to look at different multimedias to embed into lessons where students are learning about quadratic functions. The learners for these lessons are students taking either Algebra 1 or Algebra 2, so solely 9th or 11th grade students. We will be looking at both an iPad app and web-based multimedia. The web-based multimedia I explored would be used at the beginning of a unit on quadratic functions. As an entire class, we would watch a YouTube video that explores the basic properties of quadratic functions while connecting it to the popular Super Mario game. After watching and discussing the video, the students would then use a web-based Graphing Explorer program to understand the properties of quadratic functions at a deeper level and at their own pace. They would have a reflection activity to complete to help guide them through their explorations. Here's a short clip of the video that I used at the beginning of my quadratic function unit. The students really enjoyed it because even though it did talk about the properties of quadratic functions, it also related to something really interesting to them. The second multimedia I explored was an iPad app called Video Physics, where students can create their own quadratic function by capturing it on video. The student in the picture created a catapult and the app captured the path of the object. After students take a video, the app can produce a graph as well as data points from the traveled path of the objects. The app is very user-friendly and has tutorials to help the students be successful in creating their own function and data. Here's the video the students created in the Video Physics app. As you can see, it's going to track those points. So the students created a catapult, and it's going to track the points as the object goes in the air. So I'm going to show you the video. As you can see, it's going to actually highlight the points as the object goes through the air. Once the students create their video, then they can click on an icon. The app will produce a graph just like this with all the data points. Then I would require my students to actually use some of the data points that they've collected to use their graphing calculator or another function to actually create the function and write the function of the example that they created. There are pros and cons to the multimedia I explored. The YouTube video presents information in an interesting way and connects it to something students are familiar with. The web-based Graphing Explorer is free and easily accessible to the students as well as displays all information on one screen. It also allows the students to explore quadratic functions at their own pace. The cons are possible software use and troubleshooting if some students are having trouble using the program. The Video Physics app is a great tool because it allows the students to take ownership of creating their own example. The app does all the tracking and produces a graph with all data points. This helps the students understand the properties of a quadratic function. There are a couple cons of using this app. Sometimes there are issues with the app being able to track the objects, and the app will need to be purchased by the teacher and placed on any iPads needed for the activity. Overall, the multimedia we explored are great additions to help students form a deeper meaning of quadratic functions.